Have you ever seen a show at a regional theater? There's a whole world of amazing professional theater outside of Broadway, but it wasn't always like this. Welcome back to Theater History Thursdays. Today's topic is the birth of regional, or resident, theater in the United States. Prior to the 1940s, only a few major professional theater companies existed outside of New York City, and commercial theatrical success was largely limited to the Broadway sphere. In 1947, Margo Jones opened Theater 47 in Dallas, Texas, one of the first modern nonprofit professional resident theaters in the United States. Jones was a strong believer in the decentralization of theater and dreamed of quality professional theater across the country. While running Theater 47, she sought to produce new plays and classics, avoiding revivals of recent Broadway hits, and produce new work by writers such as Tennessee Williams and William Inge. Because of the success of Theater 47 and her passion for developing similar regional theaters across the country, in 1951, Jones published her book Theater in the Round, in which she outlined methods of starting regional theater companies. This book inspired other regional theater pioneers like Nina Vance and Zelda Fichandler, who opened their own theaters in Houston and Washington, D.C. The regional theater movement continued to gain momentum when the Ford Foundation began giving grants to regional theaters in the 1950s, and Theater 47 became a model of how to build a regional theater company. In 1961, the Ford Foundation approved a grant of $9 million to strengthen resident theater in the United States, and in the first 5 years after Ford's initiative, 26 major theater companies opened in cities across the country, making live performance much more accessible for millions of people. Theater artists were given an alternative to commercial Broadway theater and provided space to produce forgotten classics and exciting new work. Regional theater continued to expand with the founding of the Theater Communications Group, the League of Resident Theaters, and the National Endowment for the Arts. At New Perspectives, we understand the vital importance of theater as a community resource and the importance of its accessibility. Like Margo Jones's Theater 47, we seek to provide a professional theater space for new playwrights and audiences outside of traditional and often inaccessible Broadway stages. This year, the National Endowment for the Arts imposed restrictions on grants for art organizations focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and withdrew grants from hundreds of arts groups across the country. As theaters attempt to continue their work under these restrictions, the need for a diversity of voices in the theater landscape only grows more important. In the absence of federal funding, communities can help keep their local regional theaters alive and flourishing as valuable community resources with ticket purchases and donations. That's all for this week's Theater History Thursday. Make sure to follow us and stay tuned for more.